What makes you really like a company? Is it their brand image, their products and services, or is it their statement of a commitment to the customer service coupled with all sorts of claims to have the customer's best interests in mind? In my world, the best companies are those that care. Not just about customers, but the customer's right to know about every practice the company uses. It takes a lot of guts to be completely honest with the world at large when it seems so much easier to lie and maximize profits whenever possible. Lying is becoming increasingly difficult, however. In an age where social media reigns and news and customer opinions and reviews can be delivered in seconds, where companies can thrive or crash by the information they release or the information they don't release, it becomes harder to hide behind the facade of pretending to care. Customers are demanding transparency. For companies, this may be alarming news. It could mean revealing harmful business practices and losing customer loyalty. It may be easy to lose the trust of your consumers, but gaining the trust back can be easier than one might think. Be honest. Admit that you were wrong, and show us that you truly care about the consumer. Change the practices that you know went wrong and prove to customers that owning and operating a business go beyond just earning a profit. How can employers in the hospitality industry ensure that their employees are delivering honest and genuine customer service? There are too many workers whose indifference toward their fellow human is just too obvious to be unaccounted for. The goal should be to perpetuate a positive experience and reflect a positive attitude. Employers should make sure that their employees are fully in the know about business practices, its mission, and its general operations. That way, employees can be happier knowing that they are working for an honest company and feel confident delivering the services to customers. Beyond just keeping a business open and honest on all fronts, consumers are now demanding the need for corporate social responsibility, or CSR for short, from businesses. Corporate social responsibility is described by Investopedia as corporate initiative to assess and take responsibility for the company's effects on the environment and impact on social welfare. According to Nielsen, over half of global consumers from 60 countries would pay more for products from companies that care. Millennials are even more responsive to social justice initiatives, especially sustainability initiatives. Many hospitality businesses, such as Hilton and Marriott, are favoring sustainability initiatives. CSR is not just good, it's absolutely necessary for businesses to succeed in 2015. Never before has CSR been considered a necessity for companies. In fact, it was usually used to describe actions taken by the company beyond what its actual responsibilities were. Now, however, all of that is changing. As part of an ever-growing social consciousness movement, also due partly to the increasing online database of news and information, and due to the social justice-fueled millennials who are beginning to come to the forefront as both consumers and workers, companies are finding it necessary to not just focus on making a profit, but on making a business that gives back to the community. In this age, nobody wants to be viewed as socially ignorant or bad guy in the national and global marketplaces, and are finding that a message of positive social impact and pledging to give back are boosting their image. In my mind, a company who discusses its positive relations to its community in a commercial or other advertising or marketing is a good one. Companies like Tom's of Maine, the natural toothpaste company, have had a natural, wholesome product for years, and are now taking advantage of their wholesome business practices and principles by advertising them. There can be issues with companies undertaking CSR initiatives without knowing at all how to properly run such programs, however. How do companies avoid putting a burden on nonprofit companies? How can these programs benefit both the company and the community? How can companies prove to the community that they are here to do good and not just take advantage of selling opportunities? It's easy for a company to simply say to a nonprofit, "Hey, here's 200 workers. We want to come volunteer with your organization for a week," with almost no notice at all. But that would be a burden on a small nonprofit. Companies need to work together with these nonprofits to discover a schedule that will work for both of them and how they can impact the community in very helpful ways. In order to properly implement CSR at a company mission, companies need to educate their entire line of workers on the importance of social justice and the topics that need attention. In order to prove the company both honest and socially responsible, company heads need to not ignore certain issues that they may believe are beyond their reach or scope. It is important not to be hypocritical when you decide to take part in a social justice campaign. It is also important to be educated and prepare to discuss the topic if your company chooses. For instance, Starbucks chose to initiate a conversation about race in some of its stores with the hashtag #RaceTogether written on its cups. It may be considered a step in the right direction by some, but many considered the baristas who were supposed to start the conversations ill-prepared to deal with such a hot topic. There were inadequate education and preparation implements for the employees. Thus, the campaign ended quickly with both praise and backlash from various sources. Transparency and corporate social responsibility go hand in hand. Companies can make their entire reputations more respectable simply by willing to be completely open about all their practices and working to amend those practices that it might not be so proud of. We have moved beyond the time of simply doing whatever it takes to make a profit. The happiness of employees and consumers have become the most important issues at hand, and generations to come will hopefully see companies becoming more socially conscious, less opaque, and more successful in general. After all, it's better to be successful for the right reasons than for the wrong, even if it takes a little bit longer and a little bit more work.